My name is Tundu Lissu. I'm a citizen of Tanzania. I'm the vice chairman of Chadema, the largest opposition party in Tanzania, and a two-term member of parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania. My three political characteristics is one, deeply committed in what I do, very passionate in the way I do it, and a strong believer in the cause that I have chosen to serve. Well, Tanzania is a young multi-party democracy, and because of that, there are so many things that are still in fluid, that are still unsettled. The relations between the politicians and the population generally is one of distrust. The people think politicians are always taking advantage of them. They never tell the truth. They, take advantage to make themselves rich, and so the relations are not the best that you would want to see. Parliamentary work and the life of parliamentarians, particularly of the opposition, has been very, very difficult, particularly in the past 5 years. Members of parliament of the opposition, such as myself, have been harassed. We have been beaten up. We have been persecuted in the courts. We have been attacked, like myself. I was shot multiple times. So the life of a typical member of parliament of the opposition in Tanzania has been very rough. It is fair to say that President Magufuli controls parliament. President Magufuli orders parliament to do what he wishes, and the leadership of parliament generally complies with the president's wishes. So it is a parliament that has become almost totally captive of the president and the executive. It has been very difficult to operate as a member of parliament, particularly of the opposition. Our freedoms as members of parliament in and outside of parliament have been severely restricted. We have been persecuted for doing things that we are paid to do, for saying things in parliament and out of parliament that are protected by the Constitution. So the president's capture of parliament has been a disaster for members of parliament of the opposition. I think it is right to say the forthcoming general elections is going to be a referendum on the 5 years of President Magufuli's administration. Whatever we do, whatever we say, will have a lot to do with what has happened during these past 5 years. The COVID-19 pandemic remains a major public health threat, not only globally, but also in Tanzania. We are going into the elections in the midst of this global public health issue. It is going to be a danger to those of us who will be running in the elections. It will be a danger to those who will participate as voters and as citizens. It's a major cause of concern for everybody who wishes Tanzania well. Number one, we want to build a Tanzania that takes care of its people, that respects people's rights, that takes care of people's needs. We want to build a political and constitutional system that is accountable to the people. We want to be leaders, not rulers. How do I prepare personally in the election? Number one, to understand the issues, the major issues of concern for the Tanzanian voters, to understand Tanzanian voters, to understand the country and its history, and to understand the present, and in order to be able to project a more productive, a more hopeful future. Should President Magufuli be re-elected, it will be a disaster for Tanzania. The future of multi-party democracy in the country will be on the line. The future of human rights, rule of law, and everything that we have built over the past generation will be in danger. The national economy will continue to suffer because President Magufuli believes in Tanzania as it was 50 years ago, not in Tanzania of the future. So it will be a disaster should he be re-elected. Parliament will be rendered almost useless should President Magufuli be re-elected for another 5 years. If what he has done this past 5 years is anything to go by, and if his statements are to be believed, we may end up having a parliament as it was during the dark days of one-party rule. So his re-election will be a disaster to parliament. It will be a disaster to a democratic future of Tanzania. Our development partners, and Germany in particular, should support democracy. Germany is very important to Tanzania. It has always been very important to Tanzania ever since the earliest days of independence. I think as a friendly country and as a major development partner, Germany and the German people should help us to protect democracy, rule of law, and a better future for Tanzania. And that may mean Germany using its leverage, diplomatic, economic, financial, to make sure that we don't descend into chaos like our neighboring countries have done.